Welcome to More Than Chairside. I'm your host, Rochelle, a dental assistant of 14 years, co-founder of the Digital Dental Assistant Academy. I'm also the social assistant on Instagram, so maybe you see me there. But this is where dental assistants are gonna come to laugh, learn, and vent a little, and realize we're all just figuring it out together. So let's talk to some dental assistants. Welcome. So our topic for today is what's in a day? The many hats of dental assistants. Chelsea, what do you think about that?
The many hats of a dental assistant. That's like an hour-long podcast, not like a 10-minute long podcast. But it's like the dentists, they want us to be their assistants. They also want us to be the repairman, the secretary, the everything, right? We're not the bosses, but the bosses want us to be able to do everything and even do the things they don't know how to do. They're like, can't you just fix this high speed? I don't want to have to send it off to be repaired.
The suctions aren't suctioning anymore. What's going on?
Yeah, and you're like, I'm sorry, I have fit 10 million other things to do in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, dental assistant, sterilization technician, then you're the cleaning lady, and then if they want you to learn digital on top of it, then you're the 3D printing lady at the same time. But
it's printing while you're assisting, so
that's a juggle, that's for sure. But honestly, once you adopt digital and you're able to do 3D printing, you're able to step back from some of those other jobs where you're not as valuable because you're improving your value so much. You're needed in the lab. You're not needed in sterilization as much anymore. You're not needed just doing those limited same-day exams. You're needed doing the lab stuff or your expanded functions. So I think that lets you step away from the mundane of dentistry sometimes when you
chaos that could be there.
Yes. It's like chaos and mundane at the same time. Like every day is crazy, but then sometimes you want to do more than just suck spit a little bit and you want to advance your career a little more, but you don't know where to go. So I think digital is a nice in between. It's one of the hats we can wear. We're always going to have multiple hats no matter what. I think though that's just part of it's like being a mom. Don't you just feel like you take care of people at work all day long? Just like setting out fires and like, okay, anybody need a drink of water? Who needs ibuprofen? Yeah. Who has snacks? Like everybody happy?
Whose room's not clean but needs to get clean?
Yes, exactly. Who's in the bathroom texting? Come on, guys, we got a schedule to stay on. Yeah, it's like being a mom. So we're moms at work and then we're moms when we come home.
Yeah, it's definitely not for maybe the lighthearted. I think one of the things for me with dental assistant school, I went to one of those 13-week programs. I have mixed feelings about them. It was fine for me. There were many people in my course. I want to say kids because I was definitely much older. They were all like 20. I was about 33 at the time. Mm-hmm. They're definitely like, some of them just weren't getting it. They had no, honestly, work ethic. So seeing all these things we had to do, but they did not prepare me for all of the tasks that dental assistants do. You think, oh, I'm just assisting the doctor. I'm going to hold suction in water all day long. That's what I do.
That's like 10%, not even what we do.
Right. Yeah. So
X-ray technician, we're X-ray technicians. We're all the things.
I mean, if you're a new dental assistant and that's what you think you're going to be doing and you're not good at multitasking or keeping on top of multiple things, it's not
multitasking and time management, I think, are the two
most
important.
It is not the field for you at all. It's
because there are just so many things you have to do. You know what have really helped me, and I don't have it in front of me, I don't think. Oh, I do. Is this little to-do list. I have one of these every morning.
Nice.
At work. Because when you're juggling so many different things and you're like me and if you're like me and you're a little bit ADHD and then you're going from jumping back and forth can be really hard. So as soon as I get to work in the morning, first thing is I write down everything that needs to be done and then my top priorities. And then I know, okay, I've got 20 minutes until my next patient shows up. I can look on that list and see what I can get done in 20 minutes. But I need that visual reminder because they need us everywhere. We're like putting pacifiers in babies sometimes at the office, making everyone happy, I feel like.
Right.
So to stay on track can be really hard, but this has helped me a lot because I have terrible memory too. Terrible memory.
I would have sticky notes. I used to have sticky notes in every pocket. I would, but then at the end of the day, I would kind of go through them like, okay, these 5 did not get done. I'm going to set them right here. And then tomorrow morning, they're going back in my pocket. And you know
what I do with the sticky notes
to write things down
is put a date on them.
Yes.
And put the date that task is due and your initials, especially when you're giving it to a doctor, because the doctor's always like, put a post-it on my desk, put a post-it on my desk. So I would put what needs to be done, the date of the post-it, my initials, and due by date. And then I take a picture of it. So he can't go back and be like, well, you never told me. I don't know why this isn't done. I knew nothing about it. And I'll be like, oh yeah, you knew nothing about it?
I gave you a sticky note.
I provided you with every bit of information. There's no excuses now.
That's actually a really great tip to keep on it, because that's, I think, one thing also assistants don't realize is we are going to be, and we do, is we're guiding that doctor where to go. I've literally had a doctor tell patients, I don't know where I'm supposed to be next. I need Rochelle to tell me. Yeah. Because they know their schedule, but I know what needs to be done first before they go sit in that prep room for 30 minutes, because I need them to go here first.
We help them prioritize.
Sometimes they don't know that.
We're the neck of the doctor. Like, we just tell him which way to go, like he's the head, but we're the neck. We point where he goes. And and that's our job, is to keep him on track.
It's that thing, like, you have to be able to manage just multiple things at a time. Some of our notes for today, we looked at like managing those things. So we're going to break down the day. So one thing I know definitely helps me as an assistant be more successful is the morning huddle. I am a huge advocate for morning huddle. I train. I talk to my clients all the time, like, use the morning huddle. They're like, we don't do morning huddle. How do you plan for your day if you don't do morning huddle, or whatever you call it? Like, you need at least 15 minutes to talk about the day, what's going on, what patient's coming in. Is there, like, honestly, I had a patient in another practice and he had HIV. That was a big thing we went over in the morning huddle. If you have a morning huddle, how do your assistants know that that hygiene patient has this infectious disease? And I don't know to be careful with their instruments. Like, we knew that when that patient came in, I knew when he was going to be there, and that hygienist, if she didn't do the instruments, she always did those instruments, but she would put a note on them. We knew just to not touch them. She took care of it.
Yeah, I love morning huddles. I think you can go over them. The doctor can say, I want this assistant with this patient. This patient requested this assistant. And I like to have a printed out schedule for everyone, and you can take notes on it and then keep it in your scrub pocket. Yeah. You can, this patient has an infectious disease. This patient has a balance. This patient, all the different things that are really hard to remember, frankly. Balance. Being able to have that in your pocket, I think, is really nice. I always like to have that because, and then, as a lab technician, you can go in and tell them, okay, guys, I have a partial that's due tomorrow and it's not done yet. So I won't be able to assist as much today because I have to get this done. So that's just another way of communicating with your team members, because as our lab, or as our job roles change, our expectations for each other have to change too. Your lab, if you're going into the digital world, you're going to be seeing patients a little bit less because you have other work to do. So having our job roles change a little bit and having those clear expectations for the whole day starts with the morning huddle. Because then there's like no excuses, right? Like the things that you didn't
this morning, why don't you know what's going on?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, and I've worked in a lot of offices, like, no shame. I've worked in probably 6 or 7 offices, and the ones that had a morning huddle and did it right had a much smoother day. There was no lack of communication. There was no who gets who. The day just runs better. And I know nobody likes to get there early. Like, we're tired. We have kids to get ready, get there on time. This is one other thing. But if you can be there 15 minutes earlier, your day can run smoother. Let's say maybe even you get a full lunch because at the morning huddle, you get to tell the front desk where to put an emergency. Where's the best 2 places to put an emergency for today? One in the morning and one in the afternoon. If you can communicate better with your team, maybe you get a full lunch, or you actually leave on time, or maybe you leave a little bit early. So we're taking 15 minutes of our day, which I know sucks in the morning, but just setting your whole team up for success and your whole day up for success. And then we get better care for our patients at the same time, in my opinion, And you take care to the doctor's office. Yeah, where they're like, you tell the nurse something and then they don't tell the doctor, or like you're scheduled for one thing and then they walk in and they're like, oh, so why are you here today? And you're like, what is going on? Does no one talk to each other here?
Yeah. Well, and if you don't know, the other thing I think about morning huddle too is I've been in offices where it was almost a waste of time, because all we do is, like, the assistant just goes through this patient's coming in for this patient's coming in for this patient's coming in for this. Well, the doctor knows that just by looking at the color of the appointment. We know it's a crown prep. It's 2 hours long or whatever, right?
Yeah. Like we can figure that
morning huddle as an assistant, hygiene can do their own thing, but like we need to know, is there medical issues? Is there a payment plan? Is there a balance? Is there
every person of the team,
what needs to get done still? You know, like
every person of the team should be
what's going on today necessarily. I mean, I do. You should tell, like, hey, we're doing 2 fillings on 12 and 15, but also this patient has diabetes. We need to be careful. This patient can't lay back all the way, which that never makes sense to me. You're right. You lay down to sleep. What the heck? You know, things like that. Like we need to know, like, hey, this patient came in last time and did not pay their balance. So we need to make sure we pick that up this time. We were told they'd get it, you know, or, you know, this patient is typically a no-show. So maybe we could double book here. You know, things like that are the things we want to know. Just saying their name and what they're doing, it's almost just, why even have a morning huddle? Because I can read the schedule in 2 minutes and know what's going on.
Well, and it shouldn't be just the assistant leading the morning huddle, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
It should be the office manager. The office manager should be standing, making sure you are on time and on track, because it's easy to come in and complain about the day and start off negative. You need to have a win from the day before, something you're looking forward to. But front desk, in my opinion, the way I like it, front desk has their morning huddle sheet that they do the night before, as does hygiene, as do assistants. So front desk tells us who has balances. Assistants tell us medical issues or what patients need. And then hygiene will tell us their patients if they have any issues, things like that. So it's not one person doing all the work for the morning huddle. Right. It's every single person contributing to make sure that we have a whole picture painted of the day.
Yes, absolutely. It's a team.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That leads me into one of our things we have here is like the lab part. Is one thing that always drove me crazy is I worked with an assistant at one point who was very consistent at this, and it drove me insane, is she just wouldn't check to make sure lab cases were there for the day. So it's like, is the crown for that crown seat at 10 o'clock here? Oh, I don't know. How do we not know you're in charge of this? Yeah. Well, it's probably there. It's supposed to come in yesterday. Did you double check it? Like, we can't give this person.
And that's part of owning the lab and owning your job. Is like, that's what gives dental assistants a bad rep. Like, let's own our job and let's stand up for it. We work in the medical field. You should be checking these things. That should be a Thursday afternoon duty to check all of your cases for next week. And then let's say they're not there. You can put a note in the chart that says lab case due Tuesday if they are due on Wednesday. And then the night before, you should be checking to make sure you have them all. I never put them due the day of delivery. Never. I like 2 days grace, at least 2 days grace period, because that's just asking.
Yeah, even if your lab guy typically delivers in the morning, you don't know. They may have had an emergency thing and now he's coming afternoon and
what if there's an accident and they're stuck in traffic?
Right.
You just never know. I've had crazy stuff happen. Yeah. Or
I worked with a doctor and ours came from Texas, so there is no driver. It's FedEx, and FedEx sometimes.
Even if you're doing everything in-house, let's say you're doing it in-house, I always preach to give yourself grace with room for lab times, because there have been times, there was one last year, my daughter got pneumonia. I wasn't in work for a full week, but luckily because I'd given ourselves plenty of time for lab case returns, nobody had to get pushed around or anything. I was a little ahead with work. And then I had to hurry up and do a little work when I got there. But that whole week when I was gone, everything was done and taken care of. But that's just something to think about. But transitioning from the dental assistant to the lab tech state of mind was hard. From not going, patient's here, I got to go see them. Patient's here. You have to trust your team members to do that for you too. Because like I said, your job roles change so much. But in a fun way.
And that to me is not wearing another hat. That's kind of changing hats a little bit, right? And when we're wearing all these hats, we're switching hats a little bit. So
we're not stacking them on top of each other.
No, don't do that.
Do it all the time. We are using our time management to decide what hat to wear when. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For sure. And it can be emotional. Like being a dental assistant is hard. We are probably the most underappreciated people in the dental office. I like to call us like the redheaded stepchildren of the office. I'm just going to come out and say it. We're usually the least formally educated, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we run that show and we have
Yes.
a lot of skills because we're assistants, like multitasking and being able to do lots of things. Like my best friend Tiffany is a dental assistant. She can run 2 rooms of her own. She can flip hygiene rooms, and she will tell everyone where to go. Like I'll be like looking around, like where do you need me? And she's like, Chelsea, you go over here and do this, and you go over here and do this, and then this is going to happen.
My office needs one of those.
Yeah, and she keeps us all on track. She's one of the most valuable people in the office. She went to school for a 12-week course, I think. So I think because we're not the most educated, sometimes they don't think that we deserve to make as much or we're not as valued, but education does not always equal to your value.
Right.
Your work ethic, your ability to roll and go with things and not get upset.
And grow and challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm. Like, and to take pride in your job.
Yeah, quit saying it's just a job. I'm just an assistant.
How would you feel if you had a nurse that came in for your surgery to assist in your surgery and they're like, this is just a job for me? I don't know. I'd be like, get out of here. Like,
I don't want any of this.
Yeah, like I don't want someone that doesn't care about their job. And unfortunately, to me, it's like self-fulfilling prophecy. They tell dental assistants that they're just an assistant or they're not as valuable or they're replaceable. And then we start repeating that and we make jokes about it. But it goes and it's like a tumbleweed that collects it all. And then all of a sudden it snowballs up and we're all of a sudden not as respected as everyone else in the field because we make fun of ourselves and we don't take the job as seriously ourselves when we should be just taking so much pride and ownership in the job that we do.
Right. That's where, so Chelsea and I were talking earlier today, and I was told a statistic that there are about 60,000 dental assistants in the United States. 60,000 of us, and we're at the bottom of the barrel. We can't find CE that we're even invited to. Courses aren't made for us. Nothing's there for us to advance our learning.
But yet the doctors still want us to do it all.
Yeah, and know how to do it. Like, hey, here's my new scanner. Figure it out. Here's my 3D printer. Here's a video. Figure it out. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Or, and it's like, it's, I don't know. And that's where, like with this podcast and with Chelsea and I, we want to change that. Let's grow these dental assistants. Let's help empower them. I want to
elevate the profession.
Yeah. See that we're of value and that dentist that treats you like crap. Cause I know I've worked for one like that. I'm like, first of all, sidetrack is if someone talked to me in an office work environment, sometimes the way dental assistants are treated, they would be sued.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if you worked at a law firm and your lawyer threw a pencil at you? It's a pencil. I've got dentists I've heard throwing like instruments at assistants. Oh my gosh. Like
firing them in front of people and humiliating them. Yeah.
It has to change. And that's what we're trying to do.
Exactly. And we'll do a podcast about standing up for yourself as an assistant, knowing your worth and setting your own boundaries, because that is super important, especially when it comes to mental health in this career.
Yeah, let's make a change. It starts like now. Let's change. Yep. I mean, we're going to be working with some great other assistants and doctors in the field of how to do better and how to grow. Chelsea, any last words?
We just hope everyone stays tuned in. And if you guys have any ideas, any questions, throw it in the comments. Let us know what you guys want to hear, what you want opinions about, what your struggles are. And we'd love to be able to interact with you guys. Let us know, okay?
That's it for today's episode of More Than Chairside. If you love this, make sure to follow, share with a fellow assistant, and leave a review. It seriously helps so much more than you think. And I will see you in the next episode.